So yeah, today's class was essentially going to be on command campaigns, almost like a deep dive. And I'm hoping things are kind of working right now because they were down for a while today. And it kind of just came back up like literally like an hour ago. So I'm going to try my best to kind of work around any issues that I may encounter. But
Okay.
basically in command, you have a tool in here called campaigns, and campaigns will encompass everything from um, your Facebook campaigns, which would be like your sponsored posts or ads. You also have email campaigns and direct mailing pieces now, and you can also do scheduled posting, which is basically like setting up a calendar of social media posts for the month or even throughout the whole year. So I'm going to jump into campaigns. I think that's going to be the only tool we really will be kind of working in right now. Um, Typically, a lot of these will kind of work together. Campaigns actually does kind of work on its own. So I'm going to go into campaigns now and just give a little bit of an overview of the dashboard here. So the dashboard is going to have just some like little quick informational tips. So this is where I can connect my accounts. I can also see here which accounts I have currently connected. Under quick posts, you do have some content there as well. And that will be content that you can post onto your business page for Facebook. And you can actually shuffle between these two, and you can see like most of it's going to be aimed towards the consumer app right now. But I can see in a future iteration this being like I can take a new listing of mine and then post that as a quick post, which would be really cool. And then at the bottom here, you have your tips and training by KWU, which is KW Connect. And this is useful. It has just like quick videos and documentation on pretty much how to use the campaign system. So with that said, I'm going to start with Facebook campaigns, and then I'll actually go into emails because they just introduced a new email function, which I'm super excited about. And then if I have some time, I'll go into direct mail because I think that's also a very useful feature. So to get started, obviously we want to make sure that we have um, our accounts connected. So if I go to accounts, you can see here right now, there's two different versions of Facebook connections.
Mhm.
Facebook Ad Manager is going to handle the sponsored posts, which is essentially the Facebook Ad Manager. And then you have your Facebook post scheduling, which will allow me to do my scheduled posting in advance. And this would be the unpaid stuff. So I guess that would be like the biggest difference is that this would be the paid content.
Mhm.
This is your scheduled content that is unpaid. And then you do have some other additional integrations like Twitter and Google. Um, MailChimp is also integrated in here, but I think the major thing that just happened is that the update within Command Mail is that there's dozens of new templates now that kind of make MailChimp obsolete, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So I'm going to click out of this, and I'm going to actually start with the social ads. So to get started with a social ad, all I want to do is click on this button here. And I'm going to call this the test campaign. Okay. What is the goal of this? So basically, what it's asking me is what type of ad am I trying to create and what is the objective I'm trying to accomplish? In most cases, you're going to be trying to attract buyers. If you're advertising a listing, you might be advertising a listing. Are you looking to circle prospect and attract listings with sellers? You might want to use this option. A lot of these are going to be um, basically objectives for different types of ads you may want to run. So whether it be brand awareness, event awareness. Now, I haven't actually tried event awareness for an ad yet, but I believe that would just kind of help with putting your ad for a event out into the most people.
Mhm.
The idea is that the more that we use these objectives, the smarter that the system gets in the AI, and that will help us kind of put together ads more seamlessly and easier. So I'm going to use attract buyers in this sense, or in this case rather. Then it's going to ask me, where do I want to run this campaign to? You can do it to Facebook, you can do it to Instagram and Twitter. Again, I'm not a big fan of Twitter. I know that some people do use it. I don't use that too often,
Yeah.
especially for advertising. But if you do have Twitter and you want to experiment with that, you can totally do that. Facebook and Instagram are actually owned by the same company. So Facebook does own Instagram. So
Mhm.
any ad that you run to Facebook will essentially translate over into Instagram as well. But you
Mhm.
could also select this if you want to run like an Instagram story, which is also pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
For the purpose of this demo, though, I'm just going to do Facebook right now. And I'm going to go ahead and hit setup campaign. So what's going to happen is once I do that, it's going to bring me to this screen here, which is essentially laid out in two sections. You have the left section here, which will give me my the settings that I can edit. And then on the right-hand side is going to be my preview. So I can see what the ad looks like as I'm building it out.
Oh, wow.
So in this case, I had selected the campaign goal as attract buyers. So what I can do is I could also connect it with a listing if I wanted to. So if I wanted to use a listing, I can actually search through the MLS here and connect it with a listing. So let's go to all listings here. And you can see here, I can actually find all the listings that are currently on the market. And it might be a little wonky still. It looks like it's not bringing in all the photos, but that's all right. We're going to just select this one here. So the idea of what I'm doing, it's basically taking in the information from that listing, as you can see, and it does give me the ad copy as well. So I do have some of the ad copy. I'm not going to use all of it, so I'm probably just going to delete a little bit of that. Let's do this here. And then I think what I'll do is, yeah, amazing views of GW. Actually, it's, yep. I'm going to put click learn more below for more information, or contact me today at 201, something like that. And we're just going to put some quotations around that. And as I'm filling that out, you'll notice that the text here is going to change as well, which is pretty cool. I'll just say something like NYC views await at the Galaxy, new unit available now, something like that. So the idea is of just trying to make something a little bit more eye-catching.
Mm-hmm.
And description text. Now this isn't going to be visible within the lead capture ad, but we do have to put something there. So I'm just going to put click learn more for more details and photos, something like that. Then we're going to go ahead and save ad text. So as I'm filling this out, you'll notice a little green checkbox or check comes on these little circles here. Basically lets me know that I have completed that step specifically. So now I have the ad text completed. I can go to configure my ad media. Now, if it was pulling in any of the images, you would be allowed to select images from the MLS. Currently what happened is it looks like it kind of glitched and it didn't allow me to connect with the listing properly. So I'm going to actually just upload an image. I'm going to go to select media. And you'll notice here, if I wanted to choose from the listing, they would appear here as well. I'm just going to upload an image here for this purpose of the demo.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to go into my downloads here, and I'm going to select an image that I have on my computer. And we'll just use that one. It's all good. Oop, a little too big there. Let's go back. So I'm going to use a low res image here. I'll just open that up. All right, cool. Preview and crop. I'll just do something here. So essentially what I can do is I can repeat that process a few more times, because you can go in and you can select additional images here. Same process, preview and crop. And then what I can also do is rearrange them. So if I want to move them around a little bit, I'm actually going to get rid of this one and I'll put in something else there. So I'm just going to use some of the more eye-catching images here for this purpose. And we'll take in, oh, that's fine. So I can do that. I can put up to 5. So I'm just going to just use these 2 for the demo just to make things a little bit quicker. And as I'm doing that, and obviously this isn't the Galaxy either, but in any case, we're just doing this for the demo. So these are the images I'm going to use. Now I can also use video if I'd like. So if I had a nice little short video clip, I can upload that as well. That would also work. Then I have my logo. So my DBA logo is essentially my office logo that will appear on here as well. Saving ad media, again, that's going to complete that step. So basically it lets us know that we're completing that as well. The last bit that we would have to fill out is the channel options. So this is probably the bread and butter of the whole ad here. So let's go ahead and hit configure. Now, under the first section, it's going to allow me to choose the page. So under the pages I manage, you can see here I have quite a few. I just choose the page I want to run the ad to. So for example, if I'm going to be running it to my, my business page, let's say it's the City Views one. And you'll notice that it will auto-populate the details there. Looking good so far. Step 2 is going to allow me to choose the destination URL and the type of ad that we want to have run. So I get this question often, what is the difference between the lead gen form and use site or landing page? So if you're using the lead gen form, it's going to configure the ad specifically for capturing leads, which means if somebody clicks on this learn more button here, before they can be brought to any link that I've linked here, they have to fill out a form. So if you ever click through an ad on Facebook before, they're typically always set up the same. It will ask for your name, your number, and an email. And it's going to auto-populate that from your Facebook page. So whatever you use to sign up to Facebook is essentially what it'll use. So a lot of the times when you're receiving leads from Facebook in Command, it's going to be the information that that person had provided to sign up to Facebook directly. The other option here, which is use site or landing page, I would consider this more for general reach. So if you're looking for the most impressions on your ad, you can use this. And that would be just a way if you're looking to blast something out to the most people in Facebook. So you'll notice when you're running an ad that is for this specifically, you'll have a lot more impressions than leads captured. You might not even have any leads captured, but you'll definitely have a lot of impressions and clicks by using this option. This option here is going to be more so for your lead gen form and getting leads captured. So they're both going to be set up specifically depending on the option you choose, and the algorithm will kind of do its thing for you.
Okay.
So here is another section that we have to do. It's the call to action. So you do have 3 options here. I find learn more to be the most straightforward, so I usually keep that. The follow-up destination URL can be anything that you want it to be. I would probably try to keep it within my command realm. So whether it be my agent site or my my consumer app or even a landing page I've created, those would probably be the things I would want to link people back to. It can also be a virtual tour as well or a video clip, but I like to keep it within command. So in this case, I'm going to use a page from my website. So if I go to my website, I'm actually going to go ahead and just search for this listing here, which is that 70 Boulevard East. So we just searched for that real quickly. Here's the building. And I'm going to use just one of these listings. We'll use this one here. This is a good one. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking this, I'm copying the link, and that's going to be what I link people back to when they click through. So let's go ahead and just paste that into my section here. There we go. And you'll notice that that little 2 will light up when it's correct and it's good to go. Now, the last thing I want to do is my ad targeting, and that's going to be where I want to have this ad placed. Do I want to have it placed within, who, or let me rephrase that. What would be the best, or who's the person I'm trying to target? Where do they live? Where do you think they're going to be coming from that may be interested in this property?
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like with this property specifically, it might be somebody that's trying to relocate in from the city. So if I use my custom settings here, I can actually change the targeting a bit. And we're just going to use Manhattan as my option here. And then what I'm going to do is use the radius of 20 miles. That's totally fine. And we're going to go ahead and just add some interest as well, just to kind of narrow it down a little bit more. All right, so we're just going to do that here. Realtor, that's awesome. We'll also use Julia. And then I'll also use commuting. Maybe luxury as well. Just say luxury for this luxury property. And I might add a few more in there just to kind of narrow it down a little bit more. So in this case, I have about 5. I think that's good. I'll go ahead and save that now. Now, the last thing I have to do is go to duration and budget. Duration and budget's always defaulted to 10 days with a $30 budget. So I would say that's probably about the average. You can see here that they recommend 10 days with a budget of $1 per day, or at least $1 per day. So in this case, you're spending $3 per day, and that's pretty good. I mean, you'll get a good amount of action on that. So I think for just kind of like starting out, if you're experimenting a little bit, this would be a good place to start. I would even say maybe 25 is also pretty decent, but $30 is definitely ideal. I would even say between $30 and $50 within 10 to 15 days. It's about average. And the amount of leads captured really just depends on the area that you're focusing on and the type of interest. But you'll probably get at least from a 10-day ad, I would say at least 10 leads, maybe more. It really, again, it just depends, but I would say that's probably like, you'll definitely get at least 10.
Mm-hmm.
So after I save duration and budget, the only thing I need to do now is hit publish campaign, and that's going to allow me to get this ad set up. Now, one other thing you can also do is preview it again on the left-hand side, or right-hand side rather. And that will give you what it's going to look like on mobile and also web.
Oh, wow.
So let's just save this as a draft. I'm going to go back to my home screen again. So that's basically how you would set up the ad. If I go here, I might be able to also preview it. Let's see. No, not right now. So I'll come back to that. So basically, setting up those Facebook ads will be almost exactly the same for every objective. It will just be depending on the area or the target audience that you're trying to target and the type of content that you're using. So again, for setting up those ads, I find it to be a lot easier than trying to set them up through Facebook directly. So that's also a huge benefit to doing it through Command. And also because we have a partnership with Facebook, it allows us to have access to these types of tools that help us create these ads without even having to go into Facebook to do it. So super useful. The one other thing I wanted to just mention real quickly with the ads in mind, actually what was, oh yes, that's what I wanted to do, sorry. I wanted to just quickly mention with any Facebook lead gen ad that you're creating, the follow-up process is really gonna be super important. So Command is awesome because it gives you those lead notifications basically instantly. So you'll know right away when you're starting to capture leads from a Facebook ad or your website or a consumer app or a landing page, perhaps. Those leads you're getting are getting you're getting notified basically as soon as possible. And as you're getting notified, that becomes a way to start that follow-up process. So another great thing that Command just introduced literally like 2 days ago is the ability to create follow-up smart plans, but not just that, but being able to use ones that have already been in here or tried and true and have been created by other agents. So for example, we have one that just got added in. It's the Marty Miller 66-day challenge Facebook lead follow-up. This is awesome. So I can tell you from probably before this was released, the Facebook lead follow-up smart plans had to be created manually, and everybody had a different follow-up process. Everybody had a different varied amount of steps, but you always had to create it manually, and you typically had to download some sort of PDF that kind of gave you the options of what to add or like suggestions of what to add. So now what they've done is they released an update in smart plans that allows you to go in, you can see like, okay, this is a Facebook lead follow-up smart plan. I can view all the steps. And I mean, this looks really good. You know, it has everything you really would need to start following up with that client. But then also if I go up to the top here, I can also search. So I can do Facebook. And you'll notice that now I have a lot of different Facebook lead gen follow-ups here. Good stuff. So I just wanted to just quickly touch on that because again, the question I get often is, you know, what do you do with those leads after you started capturing them? Well, you definitely want to start the follow-up, and now with smart plans being shared, you can go into here, search for one of those smart plans and get them on something that will, you know, help out quite a lot. And, you know, in that case, you know, Nick Baldwin, a lot of people use his stuff. You can just go ahead and now add it to your smart plan library. Game changer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back into my campaigns again. And I mentioned that there was a very big update to email campaigns over the past couple days as well. And now within emails, I have the ability to make custom templates, but also use templates that already exist. So let's go ahead and we're going to just do a sample one here. I'm going to go ahead and hit create a new campaign. I'm going to do email. I'm going to do test email. We'll do advertise listing. Now there's still two options available: Command email, which is the free account that you have by default. You can also use MailChimp. So the benefit for using MailChimp, in my opinion, is if you already had lists that were established in there, but you can easily import your MailChimp list into Command using PySync. So I think in that regard, you know, if you're going to be using MailChimp still to do that, you could still do it. But I find that now with Command email makes MailChimp a little less necessary, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and set up this campaign. Now, once I get to this screen here, you'll notice it's kind of similar to the screen I was just in for the Facebook ads. Left-hand side is going to be the setup. Right-hand side is going to be my email preview. Now, step 1 and 2, you'll notice that are already kind of done. My email here, that's going to be my reply to, or the account that it's going to be using. Under recipient list, I can choose a list that I've created. And we can just use my sphere list as an example. Now, if I didn't already have lists in here, I can create them easily by going to create list. And I can say, let's just say it's my test list. And let's say I want to do it only by people who have a specific tag, right? So let's say I want to load in a list, and it's going to be from, what's going on here? I think it might be a little bit broken right now. All right, so no worries. We're going to continue on without it. Now let's say I wanted to then use just a few of these as an example here. These are my Valley agents. We'll just pop some of those in. So let's just say, like, hypothetically, these are just some of the agents I want to market out to. And I can just say confirm. Now that's going to create a new list. You see here, test list 916. And that's going to be a list of all those people I just used.
Okay.
And you notice here I have quite a few lists. I can use mine. Let's just use the town life list or my test list again. There we go. So that's all set. We now have a list created that we can use to email out, and I can go and use that as many times as I want. It's already created. I don't have to go back and redo it.
Mhm.
Now here you can also see there's a send from, so it's going to send from my name. Here's the reply to email, my KW email. You can edit that if you'd like, but by default, it's always going to go to that KW.
Okay.
My subject line, let's just say we're going to do newly listed 123 Main Street and I'll say something like open house this weekend. All right, so we're going to go ahead and now under content, we can hit select. We're going to go ahead and go to KWRI templates, and you can see that they've added quite a few, about 23 of them. Now I'm going to use a for sale one here. I'm just going to use this one. And you're going to notice what it does is it's going to give me these kind of like pre-created templates here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just run through this. So I'm going to go and select this content, and we can just replace that with the street name. Okay, and we'll just change this to Fort Lee. And then we're going to go ahead and hit done. That will change that there. As you can see, I think I made a little bit of an extra space. So I'm just going to delete that space. Let's see. No. All right. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Up here, it does use my my logo. So the logo is going to be there. So I don't have to edit that. As I scroll down here, you're going to see my for sale. Here I can put the pricing in. We'll keep that the same. I'll actually keep that the same. Let's go ahead and edit one of these images. We can go and hit replace. Now you can do it by listing images here. As you can see, I can then select images from the MLS. Or I can add images from my computer, which I'm just going to use the same ones I've already had. So I'm just going to use these. And I'm going to hit replace. Then we're going to hit done. And you'll notice here now we have a nice little image in there. We can do this as well. Do the same exact thing. And then maybe I'll just use one of the interiors. Okay, hit done again. Same thing here, we'll hit edit. And there we go. And hit done, and there we go. So we're almost done with this. The only thing we need to do now is I want to replace this placeholder text. I'm going to delete this part as well. Then we're going to go ahead and just put in some text here. Beautiful. Ooh, what happened there? Okay. So it looks like I may have broken it. Let's go back to this one. Let's try that again. Try a new design. Back to templates here. There we go. Okay, so I think it kind of broke it a little bit. Let's see, try this one. Okay. Just, I'm not gonna edit all this again, but I'm gonna go through and just swap out the images. Okay, replace that, use this one, done. So it does keep the images uploaded at least, which is great. So I'm just gonna replace those on the template. Place that here as well. And we'll hit done. All right, so the only other thing I would need to really set up, because all this is gonna auto-populate, you're gonna see as I preview it, what it's gonna look like. So here, if I do view listing, I can then go ahead and link this. You can see here to a landing page, which just say like hypothetically, I created a landing page for this. And we'll save that as well. Now, if I go and preview, this is what the preview is going to start looking like. And you'll notice here it has my logo. Here's the for sale information, view listing details, my information here as well, my app link, logos. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So all I really needed to do was just kind of edit some of those details. Like obviously I can change this default text out, but it creates a nice little email blast, and it's formatted for both, mobile and desktop devices. So that's pretty awesome.
That's easy.
And you would think typically people are probably going to be looking at this from their phone.
Yeah.
So it is nice that it does kind of scale these down appropriately. A lot of the times when you're working on an email template, the email template doesn't kind of respond well to changes in sizes. So these are very responsive. Good stuff. And this was just considered the classic one. Now there's quite a few of them in there, as you saw. Let's just save and exit so I can go back and see the other ones. Now, if I wanted to use a different design, obviously I can go to KWRI templates. Let's try this approachable open house one real quick. That's pretty nice. Yeah. So then again, it's going to be the same sort of process, me just going in and replacing some of those images. Let's do this here. We'll hit done. We'll do this one as well. Replace that. We'll hit done as well. Do the same thing for here. And we'll replace done. Awesome. Let's change the open house date as well. It's going to be Sunday. Let's say it's September. And it's going to be September 20, 10 to 3 p.m. Well, that's a long open house.
Yeah.
12 p.m. Let's do 12 to 2. All right, there we go. All right, that looks good. And again, the stuff up here, like my logos, it's all going to auto-populate, so I don't have to even change that, which is great. And then if I go back and preview this now, we've just created a nice little open house template.
Wow.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing more agents use these. Again, this is very new, so I would assume that a lot of the stuff that I'm showing may be improved upon even further as like the week goes on, because it's still considered mega camp right now. And this was one of the newest rollouts, and it is a little bit buggy still, but I think by the time mega camp's over, this will be, quite useful. But even now, like you can see, I can literally go in and start doing this. It's great.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm so excited too.
Yeah, I'm really into this. So this is great stuff. All right, cool. So I'm basically gonna be wrapping up here. Was there any questions you may have had that you want me to go over again?
No, it seems pretty straightforward. I think it's just a matter of me playing with everything.
Yeah. So like I'm probably going to be doing more of like a in-depth view of the email campaigns. I think I have a class set up for later this month because I knew or I was expecting that they would release that. So I'm going to definitely do a class on that again because I think it's a really cool feature. And I do have this recorded, so I'm going to post it on YouTube a little bit later.
Okay.
All right, cool. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to wrap this up, and you can always feel free to reach out to me via email or text, and hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you for
All right.
doing this.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye.